guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa and I try to create videos that I think will help benefit those of you who are just like me, who are on this journey to better yourselves. I wanted to try something new with this video, sort of like a get ready with me, but a skincare edition. Since I'm more into skincare, I am definitely a novice when it comes to makeup, even though I do enjoy it. I like dabbling in it, and I have lots of makeup items, but skincare tends to be more of my realm. But anyways, in this video, I'm doing like a skincare get ready with me because I really wanted to share some thoughts that I have. And you know, I wanted a way where I can be more engaged with you guys, that we can start a conversation like in the comment section about certain topics that are more current, more relevant, like what's going on today. And especially if it's a conversation that I feel like I would have anyway, like with like my sisters or with my friends, something that, you know, I'm gonna be thinking about it anyway, so I might as well share those thoughts with you guys. In this video, what I wanted to discuss is the recent events that happened with Steve Harvey and how Monique responded. More so how Monique responded, because I thought her response was very inspirational. But real quickly, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as tap the notification bell so that you are alerted of when I do have uploads. And give this video a thumbs up if you want me to produce more content that's more along the lines of this video. Starting off, I already washed my face, I already cleansed my face. I didn't want to bore you with that, just watching me wash my face. It's not like I can talk at the same time. But I did wash my face with the Youth to the People Superfood Cleanser, and I already dried off my face, so I'm moving on to the next step of my skincare routine. I tend to change up my skincare routine daily. Like there's certain basics that's always included, but then there's certain things here and there that I'll add and subtract depending on how my skin feels or how much time that I have. So now I'm going to use some micellar water to remove any like leftover residue and to also start rehydrating my skin. So I watched, I know like way back months ago, I did watch that one interview that Steve Harvey did with Monique on his show. You know, the interview when he was talking about how it's the money game, we're in the money game, it's not a black game, it's not the white race game or whatever he said exactly. I can't really remember, but it's the money game. And then that was when Monique interjected and said, before it's the money game, it's the integrity game. And when she said that, I remember thinking, you know, right on, that's what it is. At the end of the day, it is about your integrity. Because when it comes, not to say that money's not important, obviously in terms of being able to survive, being able to take care of yourself, being able to take care of your family, especially if you're someone like Steve Harvey, when you have lots of people relying on you as a source of income, like, you know, employees and things like that. I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but integrity comes first. It definitely comes first. And as we later saw, you know, here we are currently in the present, what happened to him, it kind of goes to show that what most important is the integrity game. Because when it comes, and this is just my humbled opinion, because, you know, I'm not even on that level yet, but this is just my humble opinion. When it comes to the integrity game, that's something that you, the individual, has control of. It's based off of your values, your integrity. And at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what achievements you achieve, no matter how many failures you fail forward through, doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, or when you have to, let's say if you believe in God, the creator or the universe, when your life is come to an end and you have to answer for the actions and decisions that you made, can you look yourself in the face? Can you look back on your life and be like, I did what I knew and felt was right? The integrity part. You have control over that. When it comes to the money game, at least the money game, the way that Steve was describing it, and again, as we saw what happened when it comes to the money game, is that you don't really have control over that. The money game is very arbitrary. Let me move on to my next step. So after I use my cellular water, which sometimes I use, sometimes I don't, I usually move on to a BHA. I usually apply my BHA before I apply an AHA, just because BHAs tend to penetrate the skin deeper, and usually the problems that they work on is more deeper in the skin. So I just want it on my skin for a longer period of time so it can penetrate deeper. And I've been using the Paula's Choice BHA, which is, the salicylic acid, or 2% salicylic acid, for a few years now. So, the packaging has changed, but from what I can tell, the formulation has it, and it is definitely one of my, or if not my favorite BHA. So I'm going to put that on right now. Like I was saying, when it comes to the money game, you don't really have that much control over it. Like, yeah, you do, I guess, in terms of being innovative, being smart, being talented, having ambition, yeah, all that stuff. But when it comes to people who have the power to pull strings, us normal folk, working our 9 to 5 or whatever. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure there have been instances where you're working at your job, you're doing your best, you're putting in your all, and you apply, let's say you apply for a position or something like that, because you want to progress in your career, in your professional development, and then you're denied that opportunity to progress. And it seems like for no apparent reason, because you're qualified. You already proved your worth ethic. There's no reason why you wouldn't get the position. You're the ideal candidate, but someone else gets the position. That's what I mean in terms of it's arbitrary. You have some control, but do you have the ultimate control? At least in my opinion, I don't think so. That's why I think I agree with Monique when she said the integrity game comes first, because that you got control over. At the end of the day, when things go left, when it comes to the money game, I don't think anyone will intentionally or maliciously try to find fault in what you were doing, as long as they could see that you always held on to your integrity. You could lose it all, but the fact that you held on to your integrity means something, versus someone who can have it all, but if they don't have their integrity, they don't have people's respect. Oh, by the way, I'm putting on right now my AHA, which I like using the lotion P50 1970, the original. I have many different types of AHAs, but I do like using this one a lot. I actually need to go and get some more. Yeah, so recently I saw Monique's live stream. I didn't watch it live. I saw it after it had went up, that she did with her husband, Sydney, the one that was an hour long. And I just love the way I just love the stuff that she discussed, her and Sydney discussed in the video, and the way that she approached it. Because in her mind, seeing this happen to Steve, who she still considers a friend, who she still considers a brother, remember that. Think about that. Think of your own family. Think of people that you would consider family, who are your friends, but you would consider family because you're that close. You've been through so many things together. You wouldn't relish in their demise, even if they had did you dirty. I feel like there would still be this part of you that will hurt for them, because you do have this connection with them. You do care to a certain extent for them. You know what I mean? So Steve Harvey, who she considers her brother, her friend, whether or not it's reciprocated, people are DMing her, tagging her in memes, basically celebrating this man's, I hear people say failure, but it's not really like a failure because it wasn't necessarily something that he did, in my opinion. It was something that was being done to him. So it really was more like his demise. Like Monique said, even though at the end of the day, I really community living in a condo. Whoever's above me is probably using the sink. Ignore the background noise. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think what happened to Steve is going to like ruin his career. It might be a slight setback, but if anything, it'll probably wisen him up a bit and motivate him more, increase his ambition to do more. You know, basically wake up the sleeping beast. Like, that's what I think is gonna happen, is that this is gonna be like a learning opportunity for Steve. And it's just going to propel him to achieve more that he probably would have achieved if it wasn't for the fact that the money game kind of slapped him in the face, you know? Let me get my next step. All right, I'm gonna put on one of my essences. This is the one by Fresh, the Black Tea Kombucha Facial Essence. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna hold him back or anything like that, but Monique wasn't celebrating in his demise. And that's the thing that I loved about her live stream. That's the thing that I love about her personality. And that was the thing that she pointed out was an issue when it came to the community and us progressing as a community, is the fact that it's too often that we're quick to check people, we're quick to celebrate in their demise, but we're not quick to stand up for people or to stand up for each other. We're not quick to do that. And that's part of the reason why I think Monique was hurt the first time around, like when she was on the show and stuff like that. People weren't standing up for her. People who she thought were her friends, people who she probably would consider family, people who knew what was going on. They knew what was going on. Like she said, they told her in private, but they weren't willing to say it in public out of fear. At least that's what allegedly, you know, we're thinking. It was out of fear. Fear due to the money game. Here she is hurting because of that, because no one's standing up for her. And then this happens to Steve Harvey and people are celebrating, clowning, all sorts of things, and not realizing the bigger picture that what Steve was trying to do was actually pretty groundbreaking. Like, I had no idea until I watched that live stream, like what Steve was trying to do and what he was doing, and how them basically taking that away from him would impact us, people that look like him, trying to achieve what he's achieving and beyond that. It sets a precedence, and the way that people are reacting to the situation also sets a precedence. That's why Monique got up and defended Steve the way that she did. Because at the end of the day, if Hollywood, if the people controlling the money game see that the minute that, you know, so-and-so, no matter how popular or how successful they are, even if they got rid of X, Y, and Z person without any reason, without any cause that makes sense, the audience will still clap their hands and be like, yeah, he deserved it, you know. What's gonna keep them from doing that to someone else in the future? Someone else who doesn't deserve it? You know, we're setting a precedence. And that's what Monique was trying to focus on. I was gonna put on my vitamin C serum, the one that I have from Junk Elephant, but it's in the fridge. I like to store it in the fridge because it lasts longer when you store it in the fridge, and it feels really nice when you put on your face. It's nice and cool. But since I don't have that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put on actually my niacinamide and zinc serum that I got from Glossier. I also picked up the one that's from The Ordinary. I haven't tried it yet, but I kind of want to compare this two and see, you know, how they react on my skin. Do I like one more than the other? Does it matter? Because one is definitely cheaper than the other one. But yeah, I'm going to put on my facial serum now. That was like the overarching moral of the story that I feel like Monique was trying to get at. Was that we are setting a precedence, you know, and it's the precedence that we've been continuously setting. Like she was saying, it's always a different face, but it's the same story. And we're continuously setting this precedence, and until we say no and we stop collectively and we say no, this isn't right, whether it was what she wanted people to stand up for her for versus what's going on with Steve, until people collectively say no instead of, like, you know, celebrating in one's demise, then it's going to keep happening to us because they know they can get away with it. Not only can they get away with it, they'll be applauded as they're getting away with it. Like, it's a win-win for them, but we end up losing all the time. All right, so I'm done with my serum. I'm gonna put on some hyaluronic acid. I like this one. I got it off of Amazon. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's by Hada Labo. Actually, no, I didn't buy it off of Amazon. I think I got it off of, I want to say it was Yes Style, not Amazon. I think it was Yes Style, but you gotta be careful when you purchase certain skincare products on Amazon because sometimes that stuff is counterfeit. And another thing that I liked that she said, or actually maybe it was Sydney who said it, there's a fine line between people checking you and people letting you know what's really going on. Like, people probably thought back when things were hitting the fan with Monique and, you know, Tyler Perry and Harvey and Oprah and Lee Daniels and all that stuff, that, you know, she was checking people, clapping back and things like that. And at the end of the day, she was trying to get people, she was trying to bring people up to speed. Like, do you realize this is what's actually happening? We're setting a precedent. And unfortunately, it isn't until now, until we see one of our talented people in the community who's doing great things in terms of, like, entertainment, who's achieving great things. It's unfortunately not until now that we see outside forces trying to snuff that flame, because at the end of the day, it is a money game. They don't want to share in that money, even if it's due to you. And they're not going to share in that money if they know they don't have to, if they never had to before, unless it starts becoming the standard that they do. I'm pretty much going to go ahead and close out this video by saying that ultimately I feel inspired by how Monique is responding to the situation. Regardless of what happened in the past between her and Steve, she's still standing up for him. And it's because, well, I assume it's because A, she still cares about him, but B, because she's smart. She sees the bigger picture. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who, let's say Monique was dragging him instead of standing up for him. I'm sure there are lots of people out there who would be like, hooray, good for you, he deserved it. Like, I don't think a lot of people would find her necessarily in the wrong if she were to drag him versus standing up for him. But the fact that she chose to take that stance, I feel like it forces people to think twice about their initial reaction to the situation. Like, why is it that that was the initial reaction? Celebrating this man's demise. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on the situation. Did you also see the video that Monique posted, the live stream? What did you think about what she was saying? Did any of that resonate with you? Did you have any aha moments or, like, moments of clarity when you're just like, if you were to reflect on yourself, you're like, wow, yeah, I can see that. I can see how that was the initial reaction. But is that a progressive reaction? Is that a productive reaction? You know, will that get us to where we need to be in the future? And remember that everyone is watching us, right? Everyone's watching how we are responding. People are always watching, and they use that information, for good or for bad. They use that information to their advantage later on down the line. That's why, you know, going back months when Monique was trying to stand up for herself, and people, like she mentioned in her video, people are saying she's irrelevant, whatever. The point is, she may be irrelevant now. That doesn't change the fact that she is still an Oscar-winning or Academy Award-winning. Actually, I think those are the same thing. I don't really know much about that type of stuff, but that she is an award winner. So what's gonna keep the next little black girl or little black boy who achieves such an achievement, like an award or that level of success, from getting pennies for their talents when they really should be getting dollars, just like Sydney said? Like, what's going to keep those in power, those who are running the money game, what's going to keep them from shortchanging people in the future if we continue to allow it, if we don't stand up for ourselves, rally around each other, stand up for each other? And I know it's scary. It is very scary. First of all, it's hard sometimes to even stand up for yourself, especially if you're shy or you don't like being confrontational. It's hard to even stand up for yourself. And depending on the matter, you may just dismiss it and be like, it's not even worth the headache, the hassle, all the extra that come with it. So you can only imagine how hard it'll be to stand up for someone else in a similar situation, you know, because it's that plus more. So I can see how it's hard to do, but at the same time, and this is something that I gotta work on too. I definitely gotta work on this. At the same time, we have to develop the strength, the courage, the tenacity, the skill, or the mindset to have that be our initial reaction. Like, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. No, we're not going to take this anymore. Mind you, make sure it's for the right cause. Because there's definitely some loud people out here who want people to rally behind them, and it's definitely not for a very productive or progressive cause that'll actually produce the sort of results that we need to see in this world. So real quickly, because I need to finish on my skincare routine, I'm going to apply my moisturizer, which is the Protini by Drunk Elephant. And like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I like adding my facial oil to my moisturizer and putting them both on my face at the same time. Super Berry Hydrate and Glow Oil, that's from Youth to the People. So I'm gonna mix those together. And then I'm gonna finish off by putting on my SPF, my mineral sunscreen by Dr. Dennis Gross. That is life. That sunscreen right there, no cast. That's why it's still #1 for me. I hope to see you guys at my next upload. Bye.